I've worked at the Sky Factory for about 8 years now, and as the name implies, I've paid a good deal of attention to the world over our heads during this period. But my interest in clouds and the sky actually goes quite a ways back. When I was 3 or 4, we lived in a little tract house with a large picture window. This was in the Detroit suburb of Livonia. And I remember one afternoon, late afternoon, I was looking through that big picture window, and there was a storm gathering. Big storm. It was one of those kinds of walls of greenish black that's roiling and coming, and it felt like it was coming at me, like it was some big dark animal that was coming for me. And I was stuck, and I felt like I do in a dream, you know, when you can't move and there's something coming at you and you can't move, and I was stuck. My dad deflated the billowing unease. He was an airline pilot and a meteorologically savvy fellow, and he explained that storm to me in his ever even and logical way. My dad tamed that storm with science and Latin names. The Latin names for clouds refer to their form, their relative altitude, and their vertical development. There are 10 basic types and dozens of variations. My childhood storm experience formed the basis for a performance piece that I did at SF MoMA back in 1974. This performance included, among other things, narration of that storm story from when I was a youngster, and that was juxtaposed by standing on a stage and reading a litany of Latin names for a succession of projected cloud images on the screen in the auditorium. Clouds have certainly been subject of artists' interest for many centuries. Artists have found the forms, the translucency, the dynamism, and the refractive qualities of gathering water vapor to be visually and sometimes conceptually engaging. In 2012, Time magazine named Bernhard Schmilde's staged clouds the best invention of the year. They said, they exist momentarily, but the effect is dramatic and strangely moving. It evokes both the surrealism of Magritte and the classical beauty of the old masters while reminding us of the ephemerality of art and nature. It wasn't until I started teaching photography at MIU that that photography became my primary visual medium. And simultaneously, I began to pay much more attention to my environment, the landscape in particular, and the sky. Photographers do two things. We observe the world and we make pictures. And these are two distinctly different activities, but they are oftentimes so well integrated that they seem like sort of a seamless operation. But clearly, think about it. Being attracted to, looking at something, seeing, watching, paying attention, appreciating, tracking, and voyeurism. These are on one side of the equation, while framing, constructing, exposure, capture, taking, processing, manipulating, photoshopping, and making are on the other side of that equation. We find things that we like, and we use the instruments of photography like rectangular cookie cutters, and we extract stuff from the world, and then we cook them. Clouds are the raw stuff. These pictures are cooked. Clouds are the results of processes, the visible and transitory expression of the grand interactions between the earth and the sun, between cold air and warmer air, between wind and water, and the varying altitudes and pressures where these things occur. Their constant fluctuation and enormous variety is testament to the very complex dynamics of matter and energy, and all of this happening in this extraordinarily thin film of life wrapped around the world. Clouds are nearly biological. They're born, they grow, they interact with each other and with their environment, they exhibit unique characteristics, and they pass on. They have personalities, of course. Some are heavy, some are wispy, some are dark and imposing, and others are soft and quiet. Some are violent, And sometimes, they can be so damn dramatic. Clouds carry a limited range of metaphoric associations. Thinking, of course, can be clouded. Your head can be in the clouds, and you can be foggy about something. In these metaphors, clouds represent occlusion, veiling, obscurity, and impediments. But clouds are surely some of the most beautiful, spectacular, mysterious, ephemeral, buoyant, and softly seductive objects in nature. Things can be soft as a cloud. A comfortable bed can be like sleeping on a cloud. And clouds do an amazing and wondrous thing that we can only do in our dreams. They float in the air. The sky is an aerial theater where clouds are the perpetual and evanescent players. I make pictures. It's a creative habit that I've had for a few decades. It encourages paying attention to the moment, paying attention to light and its changes, paying attention to objects in the world. And sometimes those objects are clouds. Cumulus mediocris pileus, cumulonimbus calvus, alto cumulus lenticularis, cirrus uncinus, cirrocumulus stratiformis, cirrus fibratus radiatus, alto cumulus flacus.